mix a easy 1-3 Campari. Orange that easy for we. Fi mix a Campari orange. Add 1 pot Campari with 3 parts orange juice. Drink at the bar, on the beach, or when a girl reach. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Good morning to all the listeners and viewers out there. It's Friday, the 8th day of April, and you're listening to Voices on WINNFM 98.9 on your FM dial. My name is Socrates, host of today's program, saying good morning to all listeners and viewers on the various platforms. But first, we have to give thanks to our sponsors for this program. And as the lady said, we did it already. Flow so we go straight to the microphone. Today's Open Mic Friday. So for all the folks who want to call in and talk to me, I'm here. The numbers to call are 662-0989, 464. We got 465, 662-0989, 762-0989, and what are the others now? Okay, 462-0989. And you get to be part of this program. I had a guest who was doing this morning, and just before, I actually called to confirm, and he had a situation. So you got me for your awesome. The last time I was here, we had quite a very interesting dialogue. I started the program with an article that was written by the now late, the Honorable Vance Emery. And the tone of that remark that he made, the commentary was about the cordial relationship that he knew that that existed between Sinkers and Nevis, and his approach to making that relationship work. We had no idea that within a matter of 12 hours we'll have the news of his passing. I think it's fair to say that he was generally respected across the platform. Very, very respected, I would say, and he will be dearly missed for the level of statesmanship that he represented for the Federation. As a matter of fact, that was the tone of what I was saying, that he was like the adult in the room. We can only hope that his legacy helps to inform us as to the way forward. So that was then, and then by the very next day we heard, so we have to reflect on how we live, interact with each other, how we treat the politics of the day, how we are not to make enemies of even the families. The rancor is so high, the polarization from the different factions that we support is so intense that even within the same household, we have enmity and we have this and that and that and that. I don't think that's the way we ought to live as a people. We claim to be intelligent. I won't say that common sense have nothing to do with education. But it's been said that I used to be political. I used to be singing this song. It comes a time in your life when you realize, hey, the one law of politics is that everything changes. The first law of politics is that everything changes. And one has to be politically aware, astute, and adult enough to know that these things will happen. And if you allow people to play the same mind game on you all the time, over and over, you can't blame the politicians. You have to blame yourself for being gullible and susceptible to a game. I support a party, you support a party, which is your right. It's my right. I don't understand the rancor. There were times when I was, back in the day, when I was vitriolic in my songs, addressing certain issues, when people would pass me and just start cursing, and I never once answered them because I understood what my songs were doing. They were affecting how they saw things, and they didn't agree with me. But my thing was, you can disagree without being enemies. There is a lot of I would say there's an ongoing unfolding situation when it comes to our political leaders. And I'm sat have listened. I've sometimes tuned into the radio just to get the various perspective. But from where I sit, somebody has to be the adult. And if those three gentlemen, I think they're capable of coming together and writing the shape of state. We are floundering at the moment, politically, but I think it can be addressed. You may not agree with me, that's just my opinion. But at the end of the day, the enmity and the rancor and the vitriol that's out there, I don't think we need it. And we pause now for a call. Caller, you're live on Voices. Morning.
Good morning, Secretary.
Good morning, sir. How about that?
Well, I'm just here. Very interesting to look at all the situation of Anonymous Sinkers. There's so much issues to deal with. I listened to Patty show last night.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron Wilkerson was on the show. My brother is interested in how these people, when they got money, they could do what they want and do what they want to get what they want. Look at the situation with Ike. Now, listen to him, pay his name. But Curtis Cook can't pay his name because he don't have any money. When Timothy Harris will write a letter to TDC, the government, say I'm a high risk at the airport.
Pause. We cannot verify that. If you have the evidence, you can bring a letter, but we can't allow you to say that anybody wrote a letter to anyone disparaging you. We don't have the evidence.
Listen to me, Sakuti. Listen to me very carefully. You're speaking to Curtis Cook.
I understand what you're saying, but WINNMedia can't verify that.
I'm not going to bring the letter in. I've been talking about it for the longest while.
Well, yes.
Remember,
well, until you bring it, we cannot have you saying that. It's fair. It's been fair to the person that you are accusing. We can't do that.
Timothy is the Prime Minister in charge of national security.
We understand that.
With immediate effect. The letter said by national.
We understand your situation, but we can't have you read that letter unless if you can bring it and we can authenticate and verify it. Then, Curtis, you can come to the studio and we'll entertain you. That's not a problem. But we cannot have anybody calling and say, well, this is that, unless we can actually substantiate that. In the words of the great Fergie, we can come to substantiate that. So if you want to call back and discuss anything else, we would love to have you. But unfortunately, we have to stop that at that point. Okay? Caller, you live on Voices.
Good morning, the King.
Good morning, sir. How about that?
I'm good. How are you?
I am trying to get with the program. But go ahead.
The King, this is Journey here. I want to say good morning to all listening to the sound of the airwaves.
Welcome to the program.
You know, I'm not going to touch on the political fray because, like I said on a different radio station, while I go beyond what is happening here, I am very much aware and I'm concerned, but let those who are in that area, they are talking for me and for themselves, as I am talking for them on a bigger picture. The King, yesterday, Mrs. Henry responded to a caller on a different radio program, and let me say good morning to her. I hope she's listening. And I can't remember exactly what the caller said, but she commented on what the caller said, and she said that we should go to the Catholic, the King. Now, you know how the callers call and others respond and that kind of stuff. So it was something one caller said, and she responded by saying that we should go on a website for the Catholic to find answers. Let me say this, the King. I mentioned yesterday that the Bible, we all quote scriptures in the Bible. I've stated on a program that I am God, I am Jesus, I am the voice in the wilderness. And many people responded to it and said they don't understand how I could say I am God. The very fact, the King, follow me closely, that the scripture said that Jesus himself said, know ye not that ye are gods? Well, let us take the life of Jesus. You know, all that was ascribed unto the Jesus, that he was perfect. He did this. He walked on water. He raised the dead. He opened the eyes of the blind. He fed the multitude with 5 loaves and 2 fishes.
So perhaps you have to walk on water to prove your point.
Sorry?
Perhaps you have to walk on water to prove your point that you're Jesus.
King, you see, the thing is, right? I also said that if Jesus died for the sins of the world in the narrative that was painted, why are they still killing us? Now, when I said that we all quote the scriptures, now here is something for us to ponder. Because the king, we are pontificating on a narrative of the colonizers. Now, the book says God is a jealous God, and God is to be worshipped. Now, listen to me carefully, the king.
I'm trying to follow you, sir.
A God who deserves to be worshipped and become jealous of wrath or wrathful for not being worshipped is a God not worthy of being worshipped. Now, what does that mean? And there are other areas where it says, and I'm going to give people who are listening the exact places where they can go and find this. God is love. John chapter 4, verse 8. Love is not jealous. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4. God is jealous. Exodus 34, verse 14. Now, again, do you see why I said there are fallacies in what is written?
I must confess, you lost me.
God.
You lost me.
Okay. Now, if you have a pen, write it down. 1 John 4, verse 8. God is love. Love is not jealous. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4. God is jealous. Exodus 34, verse 14. You see? Those who have tampered with the word that was written, they have inserted themselves as the characters into our story. So in a way, we are worshiping a God from a picture that was painted, and not knowing that this story that they gave us was taken from our original story. And when they're going to tell us that God is a jealous God, and if we are created in the image of God, the King.
Johnny, it all comes down to context. It all comes down to context. I mean, you're actually losing me. I apologize for that, but you're actually losing me. I'm trying to follow you, but...
There is also truth. Because until we know who our God is, in the sense that we are gods, because when I'm taking you back to person, people, time, place, and thing, the King. When it all began from the beginning, the order was given. Be ye holy, for God is holy. Live in righteousness with your brother and with nature.
Okay.
That God that made manifest the flesh by the word, the order was kept. We were broken from that order by the enemy, the wicked one. Now, you may ask, who is the wicked one? God is a God of life. The wicked one is a God of death. Look around the King. Know your story and know the story of who is of death. Because death is not of life. Death is who take life. It is so simple, yet we make it so hard to understand.
Okay.
King,
okay, sir.
I'm going to finish now. I cannot explain everything because I am learning as I go, but I am seeing my God who created me in the image of God who created me. Because we were physical before we became flesh. And that which was made physical in the flesh.
We were physical before we became flesh?
God that I know. Sorry?
You say we were physical before we became flesh?
Well, yeah. We were physical before we became flesh. The God who says, let us make man, was in the spiritual realm, yes?
Okay, we're gonna take a minute. We're gonna take a break in about a minute time. So, wrap it up for me in a minute, please.
I ask you a question. If you know the scriptures, I'm gonna finish. I don't want to be too long.
I'm not versed in the scriptures, sir.
Okay, well, let me just say that. That was made physical when it said, let us make man. was in the spiritual, and man became flesh by the word in the duality of male and female. So we create life. Life continues. Because you and your wife, your girlfriend, whoever you made your own creation with, that's the life. So you are God. But we were broken from the power through disobedience by the wicked one who broke us through corruption. My king, this is so simple, but yet we find it hard. And when we hear truth, it scares us because we are pontificating the misery that we
Okay.
export.
Thank you for your contribution. And on that note, we pause for a word from our sponsors.
Licia's. Lightly salted, tasty, and oh so fresh.
Licia's multigrain, crispy, full of flavor, and so guilt-free.
Licious, buttery blend, golden brown, melts in your mouth, and of course, you just want more.
Things that make you go, Licious, the new snack cracker from Wabisco. Buttery blend, multigrain, or lightly salted. Ready to snack straight from the pack. Try them today.
Enjoy an elevated experience with your Flow Home Internet and mobile combined.
Giving you the best rate for great savings.
With 120 gigs of double data for anything.
And unlimited talk.
On 4 mobile lines.
Simply combine your Flow Home Internet and mobile for the best rate and value. Unlock double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines to go with home internet speeds up to 35 megabits per second. Visit a Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop
www.shoptdcgroup.com.
Folks, welcome back to the program, and we're told we go straight to the phone lines. Caller 11 Voices.
Good afternoon again. Good morning again, Zakoti.
Yes, sir. You understand when we cut you, right?
Hello?
You understand when we cut you, right?
I understand what you're saying, but
Okay.
I even make sure you, when I see you're going to do the letter, I'm going to show you the letter.
Not a problem. Not a
Because
problem.
you see, in this country, people must take advantage, take advantage of people.
Okay.
The letter clearly said you're a high risk. Just like the letter what TDC give us. We are fired with immediate effect. Sakoti, if I come to you with a letter for a job, would you give me a job, Sakoti?
With that recommendation?
With that recommendation, yes.
And likely, let's know the story behind the story.
Thank you very much. So why these big companies, these people in this country believe that they could take advantage of poor people? That is not slandering we name. Because at the end of the day, let TDC show the world the files. Nothing on the file. So how can you give somebody a letter, you're fired with immediate effect? And that's what we're asking for. Give us a reason why you're fired. Look at the letter. You're fired with immediate effect.
What has the labor...
I mean, thief, we rob, we fight. But today...
They gave a reason.
Look at the situation.
They didn't give a reason. They just fired.
Nobody gives the reason. But listen to this.
What does the Labour Party, the Labour Union, what does the Labour Union said to you?
My brother, I don't even want to go into the Labour Union, you know?
Okay.
Because let's leave them out right now. We deal with what they're dealing with. But really and truly, many want to get involved in them because, man, under look, Sean, let's deal with the situation we're dealing with right now. A gay man could be gay in Sinkis. Right? Because, what you name? Peter, we come married to a man. We don't all know that, right?
So I've been told.
And that is his... Huh?
So I've been told.
Well, the fact is there. Google it. And Peter Wickham has the right to marry to a man. And come think it and talk about think it's politics. But I does not have the right to don't want to take a vaccine. You understand what this world is, what kind of world we're living in today? Socrates, do our children should go through what we go through?
No, we're trying to make it better for them.
Need to change Socrates.
We're trying to make it better for them.
Because all I asked somebody yesterday, do you think your child should be able to work for a company? Because when I listen to Sylvian and them calling the radio with that foolishness, you want to tell me 20 years from now, Socrates, they might say the country underpopulated. And because the girl don't want to get pregnant, you tell her she can't work because it's a private company and they could do as they like. It's just like you on Win FM. So you're telling me we're going to go at Win FM tomorrow, we could get up and tell you, Socrates, don't come back in the studio. We no longer want you. You're fired with immediate effect. That's how you deal with people. That's what we're saying. It's okay in Thinkets.
That is not a good practice, sir. That is not a good standard.
But that is the standard what TDC said. And we're running from it. We're not listening. Because someone's coming on the radio with their foolishness. Oh, we walk off the job. We do this and we do that. Who walk off the job, Socrates? Which one of the ladies walk off the job? All those asking questions. And in the middle of this now, Socrates, one of the lady took the vaccine on behalf of the company and the shareholders. She's home with blood clots since last year. She's weak sometimes. She cannot walk short of breath sometimes.
You're saying she was pressured into taking the vaccine?
Huh?
You're saying that she was pressured into taking the vaccine because of a job?
Like everybody else wasn't. Because she said she had a loan, so she take the vaccine. Everybody else was pressured. It's who's strong and who decide not to. It's either you want your job or you don't want your job. That was the issue with the vaccine. So it must be pressured because as soon as you finish in the meeting, the doctor, the nurse, they must out there to dig you.
I understand.
But, Socrates, look what happened in December. In December, the government tell the people that they could get free COVID tests. So all of these tourists who came in December was using our taxpayers' money to get free COVID tests. You remember that?
No, the tourists came in December and got free COVID tests. They here for a day.
Listen to me. Listen, follow me, Socrates. Follow me, please. Follow me.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes, you're right.
Huh?
You're right.
Thank you, Socrates. So they was getting free COVID tests. Who was paying the bill?
It was open.
Anybody could have shop and get the test.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean that the tourists that were going back didn't have to go pay for the test? They're going to use that and take advantage of the system. So why we at the time couldn't get the same luxury who paying with taxes? Why we couldn't pay half the price of the COVID test then? Why some compromise couldn't come? It was simple.
The tests were free.
Huh?
The tests were free.
What I'm saying to you, I said, the COVID test, people was getting it for free. I'm saying to you, instead of forcing the vaccine on me, you could have do the same thing to me. Give me the opportunity to take the free COVID test. I didn't have to be fired. I didn't want to take the vaccine. All I was asking questions.
Oh, I see what you mean. You had to pay. It was you had to pay what? To something for the test? Was it that?
Exactly.
Okay.
But you tell people in December, so you want to tell us, if we don't take the vaccine, every 2 weeks, we must pay $200 something for COVID test.
Okay.
But in December, you tell non-citizens, get a free COVID test. Well, I thought this could pay me taxes, I had to pay for that. Does that make sense, Socrates?
Based on the way you explain it, no.
Thank you. Thank you, Socrates. This is all we're saying. People need to just sit down and listen to people. The haste, and because they're more educated than you, everybody feel know it all. But look what's happening today. That's all we're saying. And on top of that, Socrates, if I want a job, any one of us want a job, we let a state head say, you're fired with immediate effect. So it means it's difficult to get a job. Let me use another example to you, Socrates, concerning this airport ID. Let's say now a different airline want to hire me, not TDC. Socrates, I cannot get the job.
I understand that.
Because the government took from my ID with immediate effect. So it means that I cannot get a job for somebody else.
But here's what.
Because my ID was pulled
with
immediate effect. I'm a high risk. Socrates, these politicians need to stop playing with the system of this country. People listen and take warning. Because today for you, today for me, tomorrow for you. A lot of us forget we got children. And all these politicians have children. And this is just a warning. Because Lindsey Graham talked last night, and may hear nobody say so, he talking violent. But as soon as the small man talk, he talking violent. People pay attention in this country with these politicians. My brother, you have a lovely day. Take it easy.
Thank you for that contribution. The gentleman for a very long time has been taking his story to the public. I think folks are very much familiar with it, whether they side with him or not. And I would venture that with the skill set he has, if he's seeking employment, he should be given the chance to be employed. He has a family to feed. There's nothing in his records that his work ethics are not what you would want. As he claimed, he's never been a day late on his job. He's been diligent, except the issue was the vaccination. The companies took a decision, and some people were sent home because that was what was happening. You had to take the vaccination to save your job. Some who didn't take it were, as in his case, based on what he's saying, he was sent home, fired with immediate effect. At the end of the day, we all have to live here. We have families to feed. And that situation should be addressed. Folks are listening. If there's a job that he shows up for, hire the man. Until there's something in his record says that he's not employable because of some character flaw, hire the man. Irregardless of the politics. As a matter of fact, Chris Collins sent me a text here a while ago and said that I'm wearing blue. What's all this blue I'm wearing? He's going to send me a red shirt. I can appreciate the humor. I can appreciate the humor. As he says, politics is not going to get between him and I. Right? And we go back to the phone lines. Call your live on voices. We're sorry if we would have lost you. You're free to try back. Okay, there's another call online. Call your live on voices.
Hi, King. Good morning.
Good morning, you sir. How about that?
I'm giving thanks for life. And yourself?
Come to the blessings first.
All right. Can I have permission to speak?
Most certainly.
You gave your opinion on the right for employment in this country in terms of and
qualifications.
Circumstances varied.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Qualifications. Yeah.
Huh?
I would say based on the qualifications of the person, the skill set, the job requirements.
Circumstances varied. Right? So even though his circumstance may not be anyone else's, circumstances vary, but there are commonalities in situations. I myself was affected by the whole, I assume all persons was affected to some aspect. Some persons was re-employed or employment was continued for some because of certain measures was put in place. And, the adherence to certain protocols. I am a tour guide, taxi operator, as you know, taxi operator. And leading up to the pandemic, and we as taxi drivers were told to conduct this workshop, this seminar, and we were able to ply our trade because after all we are on the front line.
Yep.
I attended the workshop slash seminar at the airport. And from that, like all seminars that I would have attended, there were certain approved certificates that was given that would allow you to adhere to the protocols and fly your trade prior to certain other developments.
Mm-hmm.
I checked the communique issued by the Ministry of Tourism as opposed to the various meetings with their stakeholders, including yourself and the other representative of the various taxi associations. And I have gleaned, even though I was not present that morning, that early, to what the expectation might be we going forward when we meet with them. My qualms is that the division between what tourism has put out as to, we know that the fraternity, the various associations, has a large number of members. And normally, we would have had a morning session, an afternoon session, probably on an off day when no ships are in the town. We would have a morning session and an afternoon session. But the content of those sessions would have been in sync. What you would have learned had you attended the morning session, I would have learned the same content attending the afternoon session. With these meetings that are coming up, it's not so. The division is like with approve and non-approve. My question, what do the tourism authority have to say to the approve that they don't have to say, or they don't want the non-approve to say? After all, we are all taxi members. Myself having to apply, and I went to tourism to get my certificate from the seminar/workshop I attended.
Can I give you some insight on that? In the interest of time.
To get my certificate.
In the
I need
interest,
that piece of document.
in the interest of time, can you give us some insight?
Yes.
Okay. The other two presidents and I attended a meeting with the ministry about 4 or 5 days ago. And on the following morning, I tried to give an update to taxi drivers as to what that was about. It was a briefing to the president about what is to come for the meeting on the 12th and the 14th. That same question that you raised about the two meetings for those approved and those not, vaccinated and not, that was raised, and the minister was of the opinion that they can have one meeting. And he was advised that what you're saying to the non-vaccinated may not necessarily apply to those vaccinated. So even if you have one meeting where those vaccinated, those already functioning, and those who are not, the instruction will be different.
It's not. That's not what the communique said. The communique did not use words like vaccinated.
I know that. I know that. They said those approved.
No, that is where I'm coming at. They're not going to use, semantics words. We use words. They're not going to use it because
I was the one who said vaccinated or not them.
Has already passed because that wasn't the wording before the king. At one point in time, it was only one group of persons they concerned about. They showed concern about. It wasn't no division of who was or who was not. But that's not their wording. Their wording is approve and non-approve. I am just going to follow what their wordings are.
Right. I understand that. So I was the one who said vaccinated or not vaccinated.
That aspect, because I don't think they would want you to say that either. Vaccinated and non-vaccinated. They're trying to move away from that because they realize that brought a divide amongst our people. And they want to get away from that.
Which is good then.
Acknowledging persons who really want to eat just like anyone else. And they're trying to get away with that, with their wording.
Well, that's applaudable.
Try to bring everybody into the fold, but still being discriminatory. So I want my documentation, and I want to know that what my certificate is going to say. If my certificate would allow me, providing I follow the protocols, to work. Because I'm still not satisfied. I'm not working the way I am. If it wasn't for the few of us pushback, we would have never been on the port earning a penny. I just had my first granddaughter born on the 28th of this last
Congratulations.
month. Thank you. I'm going to be 62 years tomorrow, the 9th of April.
Congratulations.
Don't I want to buy some nutritious food to build her immune system? Yes. And I'm being deprived of treating my granddaughter the way I would normally have treated her, or treat anyone else like my children.
Let me show you. The intent is to relax.
Just like courtesies, and I tell you, situation varies, but with their commonalities. I want tourism to just kindly give me my certificate so I can read the content. If the content of the certificate allow me to be in the approved bracket or the non-approved bracket. Because they have acknowledged the non-approved now. Because at one point in time, we wasn't supposed to be on the port, but we decided, no, we have to eat bread. They acknowledge that. So we are there. And I made no bones about it. I call others to come down. I am not a selfish person. I know my influence. I know my leadership. So I speak for others. Humbly so.
So you're saying that you saying that your forces action?
To the system something differently. It's just that we want to eat bread just like anybody else.
Are you saying that you're the one who forces action?
On top of it, we're hearing these type of figures now, the king. We want to secure our monies, our purse, and we hope, diving into the political aspect now, we hope that the two gentlemen can come together and allow the unity as construct to finish out at least the term.
Okay.
Because it would be disruptive in our economy. It would continue to be on the minds of our warped minds. People who have come out of this pandemic already been twisted in their minds. We don't want it to get worse than this. Thanks for listening.
Okay, so I think.
Call back on another topic.
All right. I think that's the day for that meeting is on the 14th, the same day that you're supposed to meet with the tourism authority. But I can tell you, it's a task force decision, and they are moving.
I would hope that for season will, fast forward my certificate. So I would want to know where I fall in the approve or the non-approve. But until then, I'm not a part of attending any meeting because I don't know whether I don't want to show up to the approve and they tell me I'm not approved. I want to show up to the approve because that certificate will allow me to be approved, in which rightly so. Once you attended that others have gotten theirs as I speak right now. But I know my leadership, so I know my target, and I smile. I smile because I know who have my back. Thanks for listening.
Much appreciated. On that note, we pause for a word from our very kind sponsors, and we'll be right back.
An elevated experience with your Flow Home Internet and mobile combined.
Giving you the best rate for great savings.
With 120 gigs of double data for anything.
And unlimited talk.
On 4 mobile lines.
Simply combine your Flow Home Internet and mobile for the best rate and value. Unlock double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines to go with home internet speeds up to 35 megabits per second. Visit a Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Low on cash? Get exactly what you want this Easter with a loan of up to $50,000 cash from TDC Financial Services Limited. Consolidation? No problem. Renovations? No problem. Shopping? No problem. Get exactly what you want this Easter at TDC Financial Services Limited, where money is made easy.
To our listeners and viewers, welcome back to Voices, and I'm told we have a caller on the line, so we go straight to the lines. Caller, you're live on Voices. Good day, caller, you're live on Voices. Caller, are you there? Okay, in the meantime, let me say good morning to Jennifer Richards up there in Atlanta, and we go back to the 4 lines. Caller, you're live on Voices. Hello, caller, are you there? We have lost him.
Hello?
Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Yes, the King. This is Johnny here again. Can I ask you a question?
Certainly. Go ahead.
The King, do you believe in heaven and hell?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Let me ask you this. And, this question goes to those who are listening too. Now, let me ask you this, and all that are listening. What, and specifically for our, famous caller who always say there's a heaven to gain and a hell to gain, which is Gregory. I hope he's listening. Let me ask this question. What does an eternal punishment solve? Like for those who go into an eternal hell, what does that solve?
What did it fund, you say?
What does it solve?
I don't know.
Sorry.
The context is reward. You do good, you're rewarded this. You do bad, that's your reward. That's it.
Okay. So the sinner gets a chance to correct what behavior, what he did for an eternal punishment. I'm just putting these questions out there for people to think about these things.
I'm not a theologian. You want the public to respond. Okay, the public listen to Johnny. Call back
it's not
and
even to respond, but just to take their thinking to a higher level, because the concept of heaven and hell. Now, we were told that by many and by our elders who brought us up that there's hell and heaven, and if you do good, you go into heaven. If you do bad, you go into hell. But the concept of hell can only be created by an imperfect, sadistic, neuronic, and evil being. It is not something you would expect from a living, intelligent, good God. However, I'm just reading something here, the King, and I want to share it with you. So forgive me for just ranting like this. You see, it is not something you would expect from a loving, intelligent, good God. However, it is something you can expect from humans, probably because we created the concept of hell and God. Now, let me go further to say, and this goes back to the question that I asked you earlier, because you see, the King, what we have is what we are pontificating, and what we are pontificating is what was given to us by those who have colonized us. They have even colonized the God and giver in their own narrative. So we now need to go. In order for us to find a God that made men, we have to stop following the God that man has made. Now, just for the listeners again, the King, let us ponder these words. And you can find this in Matthew chapter 5, verse 22. Whosoever calls somebody a fool will enter hellfire. This is in Matthew 5, verse 22. Whosoever calls somebody a fool will enter into hellfire. Now listen to the word of Jesus in their narrative. And Jesus says, you fool, Luke chapter 11, verse 40. Jesus again says, you blind fool, Matthew 23, verse 17. And again Jesus said, how foolish you are, Luke 24, verse 25. So you see the fallacies that are there?
So in other words, Jesus is supposed to end up in hellfire.
Sorry?
In other words, Jesus is supposed to end up in hellfire because he called people a fool, right?
Exactly, the King. So these are the fallacies that they put there. And we read these things over and over, those of us who are reading the King James Version, and not realizing that all that they give us in their narrative is to
I would
keep us
advise
just
you
where
to
they have us.
stop trying to solve the Bible.
Sorry?
I would advise you to stop trying to solve everything in the Bible. Is that going to happen?
Listen, the King, I'm not trying to solve, I want my people.
You're trying to rationalize everything. I understand that it's not going to work out.
Well, you see, who have ears to hear, let them hear. Because you can only identify with what is there when you recognize that who you are and where you came from. Because again, I said we are pontificating what was given to us by the colonizers. They have inserted themselves into our story and they polluted what was written by our ancestors. This is my message to my people, the King.
Okay.
Thank you for hearing me.
Much appreciated. Let me take this time to say good morning to Jennifer Richards up there in Atlanta, as they call it. And then there's Rosemary, Monifa, Joey, and Savannah in New York City. There's Brenda, who's currently in Dubai. There's Amber, Cleo, Zara, then Axa. That's Anguilla. And we go to the phone lines. Call your live on voices. Good day, caller. You're live on voices.
Hello, good morning.
And how are the nuts?
Since 2014, I didn't cook none again.
Imagine that. So talk to me. Good morning. What's up?
When skis, no man, they went skis, and then there was some skis 14, 15, so they just get slow. And then with the heat now, we're trying to, precautious from the heat, hitting my hands after I suckle in my shoulders and so.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I got to cool up.
Well, tell the Mr. Man give you a massage, no?
Huh?
Tell the Mr. Man give you a massage.
Okay. I used to go in the hot bath. I like going up in the hot bath, I'd like to come feel it tingling in your body.
You mean in Nevis?
Real what the problem is. Yeah, Jeremy, the most, and you're trying to give a little advice, but as Mr. Sakute, Sakute say you cannot, you think the Bible can't, other things mean up the Bible. I have a sister now going into the state, going to her service, and things that she hearing us, so me at the Bible, I tell me him about them things here. So me know, I don't know. He trying to say he...
Yeah, he's well intended. He wants us to give us a different perspective.
Yeah, just not what's about with the King James, by the Bible. I don't know, he say what is what a European gives. I don't know. So he say, well, I didn't really call him for that. No, Jeremy, we'll get there. Yeah, we gotta be, Curtis, it's a pretty... Mr. Tucker, I have a lady there, with Curtis. Yeah, I work with her till the seat of the trees, and I saw in the match today. I didn't know she was one, and she will work diligently. The lady there used to work at the front up there.
Hold on. They had a mass today, you say, or the mass the day?
No, the day. I said the day. Sorry,
Yeah. And I applaud them for coming out and airing their concerns on the street in a peaceful way.
Yeah, she did while I went there. Well, I went there to work now. She come there meet me, and then she there a while. I leave a while now since 2007. I mean, it's 97, sorry. So, it's a pity. Oh, my gosh.
I don't know the circumstances beyond what I've been told. Yeah.
People get breakdown from it and all. Yeah. But then when they 33 days or 33, they need to come do something about it. And it's a big company, and it blew me eventually up to Wednesday, and you could see it,
Well, I asked Curtis. I asked Curtis what the union have to say, and he said he didn't even want to go there. Maybe they tried, but...
No, because the union, why he said that, I said that already to the union, he ain't giving satisfaction.
It's unfortunate.
Because something, you remember when you were a young sucker before you get into this driving, doing the taxi work. You maybe working at a factory up industrial site, and you did something, and we were with a fire, you used to, okay, let me go down to the union. Before you reach the union personally, and, they get their own, they put it in their own way.
You give their own version?
You did something, they just fire you out to go back on your work, and that's it. So, I'm agree with Porter, so it's the union. The government is the union, and the union is government, so I want to go away. And that is not right. He said he works and say, want me back, give me my money where you know I benefit. Give me my money where you not deserve.
If he's due...
I was really calling to say to about some news this morning coming out of Barbados. I said Barbados rising over 4,000 people up there. Not 4,400 people up there supposed to come down with this thing again. So we have to be careful.
You're talking about the COVID? The cases are rising in Barbados?
Yeah, we don't even know who coming here lately. I have it, so we may go to start to do account number now and next week again.
Okay.
That the way, so I said that we just want to slow up the show coming up. So I don't know.
You mean the music festival?
Yeah.
Well, I have one tomorrow night, I have a small show tomorrow night. I don't want to ambush. Ambush marketing to in November, but I'm over.
Wow, because out there rapidly again. People take your vitamin. People, it's a cold, come and cold, but you catch it, I catch it, everybody catch it. Is that if you do your research, you drink your bush, your bitter bush, so you're not going to keep your body good. You ever drink Perala? It's a pearl bitter because it's from bitter bush. It made in
I
Guyana.
drink noni juice. Why you laughing? I drink noni juice. Why you laughing? What's funny about that? I have a tree.
That is good.
I have a tree in my neighbor yard. I go over there, pick them, I ferment them, and I drink noni juice. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, that's good, yeah. And yeah, someone from, it's just the Sakura, I discover a tree we see all the time. You see it too. The past day, every day, go to from Frigate Bay. And if someone never bring that to me, Sakura, I had a pain in my life and on my elbow like somebody just hit me a stick. And it was hurting me for 2 days, 3 days. And this person passed across and I tell them what is what to. And I said, they bring it, give me, I'm going to tell you because you know it, see it. We got things there to cure, you know what thing cook yours again? You see when you're going to forget by them thing with like some peas on them.
Maringa?
And forget the road there.
Yeah,
where they have the thing now for your heating in your house.
But tell you what, we're coming up on news time. Okay? But I believe your message is, we're about to break for the midday newscast, but I believe your message is that we need to not get too relaxed. We need to maintain the protocols, be safe, the various protocols, sanitize, wear your mask, and make sure we don't get to a point where we just shrug it off and end up, like, as you say, numbers rising in Barbados, okay?
Yeah, coming down again, so we got to be careful.
Beautiful.
I wear my mask,
Okay.
When I'm not around people, a crowd, I would remove it, but when I'm around people, I will put it on.
Beautiful.
Sometime, not all the time, some of the time.
Okay. Now we want to say, yes, same to you. Thank you for that contribution as we pause for the midday newscast. We'll be right back after.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and National Bank.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Dealing well with a local reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
Did you know that National Bank offers very favorable terms and low interest rate to switch your home mortgage? Our in-house legal department will process your mortgage in a jiffy and free of cost. Switch your home mortgage now and get a peace of mind knowing that we are here for you. National Bank, always here.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Macasson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
With the Win Headline News, I am Kevon Brown.
I am Devon Cornelius.
And I am Yulana Weeks.
Making the headlines.
Deputy Prime Minister links absence from cabinet to last lap bar matter.
The William Marcus Natter Scholarship Fund at 12 gives a helping hand to the nation's youth.
CARICOM leaders appoint a subcommittee to decide the new Commonwealth Secretary General. Internationally, NATO members have pledged to send more weapons to Ukraine to help win the war against Russia. The military alliance announced its decision after hearing a plea from Ukraine's foreign minister for more support to prevent more killings. Now, the details.
Deputy Prime Minister the Honourable Sean Richards has revealed that the reason for his absence from cabinet for the past 2 months is related to the ongoing legal matter of Minister the Honourable Lindsay Grant. During a People's Action Movement Palm Town Hall meeting on Thursday, Richards said the decision was taken to avoid cabinet meetings until his name was cleared from the matter involving Government Minister Lindsay Grant at the last lap bar earlier this year. Deputy Prime Minister Richards told those listening and viewing via radio and internet that while he was present at the last lap bar the night the incident occurred, he was not involved and had no altercation with law enforcement officers.
I heard that my name is in the police report relative to this incident at last lap. I said my name in police report? What was my name in police report for? Me no witness not no last lap. I wasn't part of no incident at last lap. What my name in the police report for? Huh? To say good night to the police? I said, all right. I drive into work the morning. I called the commissioner of police. I said, Mr. Commissioner, good morning, how are you? He said, he's good. I said, you have a few minutes to spare? He said, yes. I said, let me ask you a question. If I drive in across Old Road Bay, and 5-10 minutes after I drive across Old Road Bay, an accident happens across Old Road Bay, am I important to the accident? He said, no. You want in the accident, you know, see an accident, you can't get no evidence. I said, I'm glad you tell me that, so let me ask you a question. And I told him about the incident at last lap. I said, I've been made to understand that my name is in the police report. The commissioner said to me, yes, he has the report here in front of him. And indeed, my name is in the report. I said, but Commissioner, why my name in the report? Am I germane to the incident that happened at last lap? The Commissioner tell me, now let my blood pressure go up over that, not take on that. I said, all right. I left it there. A few weeks after that, the Commissioner comes to Cabinet, and there's a discussion about it. And again, I reiterated that my name ain't got no call in the police report. So why my name must be in the report? I could understand Lindsay's name in the report. I could understand Jonel's name because I said at the end of the incident, Jonel sort of assisted them. But me no witness the incident. Me no part of the incident.
On January 8, 2022, Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Lindsay Grant, was caught on camera in a tense verbal spat with law enforcement officers. The video generated much debate locally and was widely circulated, and Grant faced heavy criticism from political opponents. Shortly after the incident, allegations surfaced on social media that Minister of Education, the Honourable Janelle Powell, was involved in the altercation, but Powell swiftly dismissed the allegations in a statement on his Facebook page. Recent comments on social media accused Powell of misleading the public for allegedly saying he was not at the last lap bar, but the statement on Powell's Facebook stated that he was, quote, not in the presence of the officers when the recorded incident occurred, end quote.
The William Marcus Natta Scholarship Fund is celebrating 12 years. The fund was designed to encourage, empower, and support many young students and their schools in St. Kitts by providing a helping hand along the way. Chair and co-founder of the William Marcus Natta Scholarship Fund, Dr. Marcus Natta, told WINNFM on Friday morning, March 8.
This year, for our 12th anniversary, the William Marcus Natta Memorial Scholarship Fund will be commemorating the anniversary on Sunday with worship at the Zion Moravian Church, where we will have some of our past Natta scholars and their parents or guardians with them. And following the church service, we intend to do lunch together and just give us an opportunity to catch up with our scholars, since we have been out of touch in terms of in-person meetings with them over the last few months. We meet usually virtually.
Dr. Natta added that the scholarship application is currently open and will close on May 1, 2022. He invited individuals to take advantage of the opportunity.
We are looking forward to receiving, as usual, wonderful applications from the young people at the Tucker Clark Primary School as well as the Irish Town Primary School. And of course, as the year goes on, we will continue to meet with our scholars as well as give donations to the two scholarship schools as well.
According to the Natta Scholarship Fund website, the William Marcus Natta Scholarship Fund was established on April 8, 2010 to encourage primary school students in St. Kitts and Nevis to strive for academic and civic excellence. The scholarship fund focuses on primary education because it aims to foster early love for learning and believes that the earlier a child receives sound schooling, the better prepared that child becomes for the real world. William Marcus Natta was an accounts clerk, a trade union activist, a sergeant in the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force, and a civil servant for many years. William Marcus Natta passed away on November 4, 1992, after battling cancer.
In regional news, CARICOM leaders appoint a subcommittee to decide the new Commonwealth Secretary General. Carib Update has the details.
CARICOM leaders remain divided on their support for the two candidates for the position of Commonwealth Secretary General, agreeing instead to appoint a subcommittee to delve further into the matter. A 3-paragraph statement issued following their deliberations Wednesday indicated that the CARICOM leaders were still divided on whether to support the incumbent Baroness Patricia Scotland, who has been nominated by Dominica, or Jamaica's nominee Kamina Johnson-Smith, the island's Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister. Scotland was elected to the post at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Malta in 2015, and her re-election is scheduled to take place during the June 20 to 25 Commonwealth Summit in Kigali, Rwanda. The Dominica-born Scotland is the second Secretary General from the Caribbean and the first woman to hold the post. On Tuesday night, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness defended the decision of his government to nominate Johnson-Smith, saying that towards the latter part of the initial term of the current Secretary General, several countries, including Jamaica, were approached regarding the possibility of nominating a candidate for the post. Minister without portfolio in the office of the Prime Minister, Robert Morgan, said there is no chance that Jamaica will withdraw its nominee for the position. Morgan is insisting that Jamaica will be going all the way.
Jamaica is a sovereign democracy. What that means is that Jamaica has a right and a responsibility towards its citizens and itself to push forward an approach that is in the interest of Jamaica. That interest also takes into consideration the regional associations and international associations that we're a part of. And I don't think that there's any evidence of a division in CARICOM.
The three leaders in St. Kitts and Nevis ruling coalition have met to talk about the ongoing crisis in the government there. It was the first three-way meeting of the partners after weeks of publicly combating each other. A statement from the office of the Prime Minister said the meeting was frank but quite cordial. It said, and we quote, "All participated and exchanged their views on the current state of the coalition and recommendations for the way forward," end of quote. No further details were provided by the office of the Prime Minister and said discussions are to continue in a week.
We now bring you these international reports.
Ukraine isn't a member of NATO, but Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba was warmly welcomed as a partner in Brussels, a partner in need of support. He was very clear about what that should be.
It's weapons, weapons and weapons.
His message was heard. NATO foreign ministers promising increased military support to help Ukraine fight Russian invading forces, citing suspected war crimes in towns such as Bucha as a game changer.
With each day, more and more credible reports of rape, killings, torture are emerging. And for every Bucha, there are many more towns Russia has occupied and more towns it is still occupying. Places where we must assume Russian soldiers are committing more atrocities right now.
Without giving details, NATO Secretary General made it clear that not only more weapons will be sent to the Ukrainian army, but more advanced arms too.
Speak about more weapons, right? Does it mean in quantity, or are you talking about a different kind of weapon, more, as we call it, a more offensive weapon?
Rest assured, allies are providing a wide range of different weapon systems, both Soviet-era systems, but also modern equipment. And I think that this distinction between offensive and defensive is a bit strange, because we speak about providing weapons to a country which is defending itself.
Despite a shift in NATO's military support for Ukraine, Stoltenberg underlined the security of alliance members as its most important responsibility. So sending troops or NATO warplanes to Ukraine are out of the question. Kuleba's call for weapons has been clearly heard here in Brussels. While NATO countries were reluctant to send what were described as offensive weapons to Ukraine at the start of the war, this hesitation seems to have gone now. But the question is, will these weapons arrive in time to prevent many more deaths in Ukraine? Kuleba criticized NATO countries for their slow decision-making processes and highlighted Germany for not doing enough yet.
Either you help us now, and I'm speaking about days, not weeks, or your help will come too late. And many people will die, many civilians will lose their homes, many villages will be destroyed, exactly because this help came too late.
With a large Russian offensive expected in eastern and southern Ukraine in the coming weeks, pressure will be felt in NATO capitals to act fast. The question will be how Russia will respond as the Kremlin is confronted with more NATO firepower. Step Vassen, Al Jazeera, Brussels.
The French President Emmanuel Macron has warned nothing is impossible as polls suggest that his far-right rival Marine Le Pen is closer than ever before to winning the presidency. 12 candidates are competing in the first round of voting on Sunday. Our Paris correspondent Lucy Williamson reports.
He won the presidency last time by standing out from the crowd. 5 years on, Emmanuel Macron, seen by many as arrogant and out of touch, is keen to show he's close to the people. A classic defence when your far-right rival is right behind you in the polls. The message here in Brittany: he's not just a president for capitalists, but for left-wing voters too.
It's Europe that allows us to reform excessive and sometimes crazy capitalism. If we want to put social and environmental concerns at the heart of the market economy, it's Europe that allows us to act.
Left-wing territory like this backed Mr. Macron 5 years ago against his far-right rival, Marine Le Pen. Many left-wing voters are more disillusioned now, but polls suggest that Marine Le Pen is closer than ever to winning this election, and Mr Macron is hoping that's enough to get the left to vote again. Down the road in the local boulangerie, Sophie said she voted for President Macron 5 years ago because she was nervous about voting for Marine Le Pen. Not this time.
She's evolved, she learns from her mistakes, she's very human. We understand her when she speaks. I think this time the right person will win. I hope so, because I've made a bet with my customers.
Marine Le Pen has worked hard to soften her image. She still wants to ban Muslim headscarves in public places and give French nationals priority in benefits, housing and jobs. But her focus in this campaign has been rising prices, made worse by the war in Ukraine. At a rally in the southern city of Perpignan this week, 18-year-old Anouar Flores said Le Pen was right to focus on the things that mattered to French people and less on security issues. Mr Macron still has the edge in this election, but he's warned that nothing is impossible. As the man who broke the political mould here 5 years ago, if anyone should know that, it's him. Lucy Williamson, BBC News, Paris.
European and Asian coal importers are expected to join the scramble for alternative sources as a European Union ban on Russian coal imports looms. But with top exporters Australia and Indonesia having already hit production limits and major producer South Africa constrained by logistical problems, some importers may struggle to maintain supply levels. The expected rush is likely to keep global coal prices elevated. The EU ban is set to take effect from mid-August, a month later than initially planned. That's according to 2 EU sources, following pressure from Germany to delay the measure. South Africa's Exxaro Resources told Reuters it had already received numerous requests from European countries wanting to sign supply contracts. It said it has the right quality of coal for the European market, but that current production has already been allocated and that the country's struggling rail network means miners will not be able to export more to meet the increased demand. German energy company Uniper said it has taken steps to ensure its coal-fired power plants in Europe can be technically operated without Russian coal and decided not to extend its Russian supply contracts. Australia's Whitehaven Coal and New Hope Core said they have been approached by prospective customers, but their priority was to serve existing clients. In Asia, at least 2 utilities in Japan and South Korea have halted Russian coal imports. Others may follow suit if sanctions are expanded.
You were listening to the WINNFM Headline News on 98.9. Our top stories were:
Deputy Prime Minister links absence from cabinet to last lap bar matter.
The William Marcus Natta Scholarship Fund at 12 gives a helping hand to the nation's youth.
CARICOM leaders appoint a subcommittee to decide the new Commonwealth Secretary General. Internationally, NATO members have pledged to send more weapons to Ukraine to help win the war against Russia. The military alliance announced its decision after hearing a plea from Ukraine's foreign minister for more support to prevent more killings. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and National Bank.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Till you walk with a local reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Found the South 98.9 FM.
Get your property properly covered today. Constructing your dream house or considering renovating your property? We will make sure your property is properly covered at Guardian General Insurance. Yes, at Guardian General Insurance, we will ensure that your property is properly covered with our private dwelling and contractors all-risk promotion. Visit or call us today and get affordable rates, premium financing arrangements from now until March 31st, 2022. We will properly cover fire, lightning, explosion, thunderbolt, bursting or overflowing of water tanks and apparatus pipes, burglary, theft or larceny, impact by road vehicle, riot, strike or malicious damage, hurricane, earthquake or volcanic eruption, flood, collapse due to subsidence of landslip, loss of rent, cost of temporary accommodation, and much more. So get your property properly covered at SL Horsford and Company Limited, local agents for Guardian General Insurance today. Special terms and conditions apply. Call today at 869-465-9355 for further details.
Saying good afternoon to one and all. Welcome back to the second episode of Voices on today, the 8th day of April. As a matter of fact, was it Okay, let's go straight to the phone lines. I was saying just yesterday there was April 1st. But caller, good afternoon. You're live on Voices.
Yeah, good afternoon again, Sakuti.
Good afternoon, sir.
I don't want people to get twisted about the union. I'm defending the union. The union is defending us fully.
Okay.
The issues we're having is the Labor Department dragging the foot. That's why I said I don't really want to touch about the Labor Department, because I'm very disappointed in the way these people treating people like this. Criminal, the Labor Department. Because if you could go back, Sakuti, remember when they said to the nation live, she knows nothing about the TDC workers. The truth must be told. She knows nothing about us. When in fact,
when who said what?
We went to the union. The union was giving the Labor Department the letters and the information. Remember, you had two girls from Rams. They did an interview on this radio station here. When she said that they get their money, the girls went to the Labor Department, and the Labor Department lady tell them she don't know what they're talking about. There's no money there for them. The same two ladies still on the same ground looking for the money. So somebody's not telling the truth. We are big people. People must stop put their ego in front, Sakuti. Because today you're in government, tomorrow you're out of government. So what you expect to do, live a normal life among people when you treat people in this kind of way? Inhumane? We're talking about inhumane, we're talking about Russian war. We have been treated like worse than the people them in Afghanistan and all them kind of places. Because up to now, nobody from the union, not from the union, from the Labor Department, has not had a discussion with us. The minister who in charge of Labor Department have not reached out to speak to us. Well, she's upset because we are talking the truth, Sakuti.
Who's the Minister of Labor?
In job, they're supposed to be the bigger person. But they're quick to call on the small man when he behave a kind of how. It is saying the people talking behavior showing them. When the small man behave, everybody still be on call. Cook disrespectful, this that respectful, okay? So what are you calling these people? They can't leave the charge on somebody yet. Let me have a meeting. Let me have a discussion with these people. They always believe that they're bigger than everybody because they're in power. So I'm mighty. I don't have to talk to them. That's not how we're supposed to be living, Sakuti. None of these ladies kill nobody. Down in 40-something years, all of us work years for TDC, work we had off. Sakuti, there's many times they go work 6 a.m. and finish to 6 p.m. after 7. The people forget these things.
I've heard you so many times you've never been late.
So people need to listen and understand what we are saying. All we're saying, Sakuti, hear we voice. Somebody hear us. Timothy, you're the leader. You are the leader. Lead from the charge. We need to hear you. We need to sit down with you. Something need to give. Because it's very difficult on people. Everybody going about their daily life. Sylvain quick to call in. And she got grandchildren and children. Oh, we walk off the job. I listen to everybody. When the COVID is going on. Oh, we don't walk off a job, Sakuti. People crazy. Listen to sensible people talking this thing about people who tied in the country, who helped build TDC, who helped build the country because we pay tax. But today, we are common criminals. And concerning Sakuti, before I go quick, there's a lady who took the vaccine. She's injured. I keep telling you all the time.
You mentioned that
The
earlier.
government has something in place for people like that who took the vaccine and get the blood clot and the whole 9 yards. What can she do, Sakuti? Who can she go to? Because she took the vaccine. She needs to pay herself from the doctor. The government needs to answer all these questions. What can the citizen do who took the vaccine, have blood clot, and having issues? How can they go about? Cameron Wilkerson, tell us something. How can they go about getting help? These are the issues that I talk about. Nobody wants to talk about the injured person who took the vaccine. Come on, people. We are all citizens. We are all human beings. The lady's suffering. She can't walk from here to there. She tells you she's short of breath. She's scared. She don't know what next. She has a family. But nobody wants to listen to Curtis Cook because some people believe in everyday politics. What politics? These are the reality.
Do you know or not if there's anybody dealing directly with that lady's situation?
Sakuti, I can tell you straight off the bat, absolutely no one. I talk to the lady every single day. You know why, Sakuti? Why it hurt my heart? Why I feel for her? I'm going to let the world to listen. When I went to the meeting, Sakuti, the same meeting with Charles Wilkins, you hear me talking about when people start going over the same thing. I asked the question, what if something happened to one of us when we take the vaccine? Who's going to look after us? The rebuttal was, what if you drop down now in the meeting? The lady called me some weeks ago. She said, Cook, I'm the victim. And the question you asked in the meeting, she have blood clot in her lungs.
Wow.
Nobody have not gone to look for that lady. Nobody, the lady got to be looking after. She still talk like she have a husband. He got to drive her into town sometime. She cannot walk because sometimes she says she out of breath.
Mm-hmm.
The world must know what is going on with our politicians. We are not criminals. She took the vaccine. She took it for she job. She took it because she had a loan from TDC, have a loan. Nobody, Socrates. So I'm pleading to these people. We are not criminals. The COVID thing is finished, as we see. We focus on the music festival. Everybody must come. All the artists who come in for music festival, Socrates, already got their money because you got to pay them half. But nobody want to look out for us. The crime we commit is not taking a vaccine. Socrates, these things is wrong, it's frustrating, and it's scary. One lady ended up in the hospital, had a nervous breakdown. But everybody laughing and cackling. People, pay attention. We have kids. And what happened today could affect our kids down the road. That's why Martin Luther stand up, Rosa Parks stand up, Bratcher stand up. And our people look at, we're going to let these present politicians play with us. The time for us to stand up. Because Socrates, what his name? Dr. Joe could get in power tomorrow, you know? The system will remain the same because we're not planning on changing the system. Let us do something now. And I keep saying, Socrates, our children, please, people, it's not us. We are borrowed time. Look down the road. Stop letting the politician publish us. It is not right. The lady need answers. Somebody need to go and look after the lady, including the Labour Department need to have a meeting with us. I'm calling on the Prime Minister, please, to do something. My brother, you have a lovely day. I said enough.
Thank you very much for your contribution. I have no problem giving platform to anyone who has a situation that they need to address and they're not getting answers in a timely manner. I know of two persons, of friends of mine, who would have taken that booster shot that was, very popular. And they have complications with that also, so I can relate. But we take this caller 11 Voices.
Socrates,
good afternoon. How about that?
I'm blessed in Jesus' name.
I see you took the bait.
Oh? Well, okay. Well, first of all, let's say greetings in Jesus' name, the only Savior of sinners from hell and from their sins, and who is the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, first of all, let's say Socrates.
Yes, sir.
Just a few years back, you said that you would like to hear an explanation of the 3 days and 3 nights. We're in the Easter season.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just like to make a contribution where that is concerned. That's what really mostly account for. But I would like to address Johnny issue if time is left.
It's plenty.
Time is left.
Go ahead.
But let me address the 3 days and 3 nights thing. We should say you'd like an explanation of.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And explain what the 3 days and 3 nights are, right?
Hello?
Explain first what the 3 days and 3 nights are, because I did question it.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, I will do that. Yes. First of all, there are 2 explanations for the 3 days and 3 nights issue. But I'm just going to go with the one that I hold to most.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I hold to most, to me, makes a lot of sense. Okay, back in Jesus' time and before as well, and even afterwards, Jerusalem was considered to be the center of the earth where the plan of God is concerned. And even where medieval maps and so were concerned, they used to put Jerusalem at the center of the earth, especially even before Columbus came down this area. That is a very important thing to understand. Jerusalem has been the center of the earth where God's plan of salvation and redemption is concerned. Now, when you say in Matthew that when Jesus said in Matthew that he be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth, or in the center of the earth.
You want to say it's Jerusalem? You want to say he meant Jerusalem? Are you trying to say that he meant he'd be in Jerusalem for 3 days and 3 nights?
Yes, because Jerusalem at the time, where the Bible writers and people were concerned, and even where medieval maps were concerned as well, Jerusalem was considered to be the center of the earth.
My friend,
especially where
the text said on the third day he rose again. On the third day, being buried for 3 days.
Yes, I'm coming to that.
Okay.
So Jerusalem is really the center or the heart of the earth that Jesus Christ was referring to. Now, the 3 days and 3 nights in the heart, in the center of the earth, are in Jerusalem. Those 3 days and 3 nights that Jesus was referring to, he was referring to that he would be in Jerusalem 3 days and 3 nights without the protection of the Father, where he will submit himself to be tortured, to be oppressed, and to be killed in the end.
Crucified on the Friday.
And but he was 3 days and 3 nights in Jerusalem. That is the center of the earth.
So it had nothing to do with being crucified on Friday, buried for 3 days, 3 nights, and rising on Sunday.
But the point, it's even broader than the crucifixion, because it started before the crucifixion, because what Jesus Christ was referring to, he will be in Jerusalem without the Father's protection, where they would be able to arrest him, where they would be able to do what they want to do with him.
So it has nothing to do with the 3 nights in the grave.
Hello?
It has nothing to do with 3 nights in a grave. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
No. The grave part is just a part of the 3 days and 3 nights. It's not the whole of it. It's a part of it. So what you have is this. Is that he was referring to when he would be without the Father, because all before, when they wanted to arrest him and when they wanted to kill him and do things to him, the Father protected him, and they could not have laid a hand on him. They could not have laid a hand on him before those 3 days and 3 nights that he had in Jerusalem without the Father's protection. It's those last 3 days and 3 nights of his life in Jerusalem, which was the center heart of the earth, that they were able to arrest him. They were able to do all manner of things to him, including crucifying him and his resurrection on Sunday. So it go all the way from Gethsemane. You read the 3 days and 3 nights of the without protection from Father. Start from in the Garden of Gethsemane to his resurrection Sunday morning.
I must applaud you.
That is the 3 days and 3 nights.
For the many years of being to the many churches, no one has attempted to explain it, because we were told he was crucified and buried. And he was in the earth for 3 nights. That was about crucified on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So how could he rise on Sunday?
Because people interpreted the center of the earth to be the grave, which is not. The center of the earth was Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
That is where I think that is the best explanation, because Jerusalem was considered in
You're
that
saying the best explanation are the others?
Hello?
I want the explanation. You said that's the best. So are there other explanations?
Yeah. That is the best explanation, because Jerusalem and not the grave was the center of the earth, where the plan of God's redemption is concerned.
Okay.
Jerusalem in the Bible, Jerusalem was considered to be the center of the earth, based upon in context of God's plan of redemption, not the grave.
So you're now coming and saying that he was never in the grave for 3 nights, or 3 days, 3 nights.
Right. He was never in the grave for literally 3 days and 3 nights.
Mm-hmm. So crucified on Friday, buried on Friday, Saturday, so tonight is Raising Sunday. So you're going to 2 nights now.
But
Why
here
was that
I'm
never
referring-
ever clarified with all the Matthew and the Mark and the Luke and the Johns and all the explanation?
No. There's another explanation to that. There's another explanation to that, which I said there are two. There's another explanation to that. The other explanation is that where the Jews were concerned, even a part of it there was considered to be a whole day.
Well, they had their own almanac.
Hello?
They had their own almanac.
The Jews? Yes. They had their own. They had their own almanac. They did. They had the Jewish years.
I know it's about 1,000 years.
They were reckoning the years.
It's about 1,000 years shorter than the one we accept. They're still in what year are they in right now? We're in 2022. That should be in 2012.
What year it is for them. I don't know.
It should be in 2012.
I do not know from when they start counting the calendar. I don't know from when they start counting. But what I'm saying, in the Bible time, the Jews had their own calendar and they had their own reckoning of time.
Would Rome have accepted that?
Rome?
Yeah.
No. Rome never accepted the Jewish reckoning. Rome had their own calendar. Rome had their own calendar. But you got to remember, the authors of the Bible were Jews. And
Really?
they were writing from a Jewish perspective.
So we have to take the whole Bible within the context of a Jewish perspective. Is that what you said?
Well, you have to recognize when it is written from a Jewish perspective, or when it is written from a non-Jewish perspective.
So
Because
3
there's things in
days
the Bible that
did
are
mean
written
3
from a
days
non-Jewish
to the Jews.
perspective. Hello?
So 3 days did not mean 3 days according to the Jews.
No, 3 days. The 3 days and 3 nights. The 3 days and 3 nights, which is the explanation that I'm going with. But like I said, but the explanation that I'm going with is that the heart of the earth is not referring to the grave. The heart of the earth is referring to Jerusalem. And that Jesus Christ is saying that he will be in Jerusalem, which is the heart of the earth, for 3 days and 3 nights without the Father's protection. And that started in the Thursday night of Gethsemane. And it ended with the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So when you add it all up, you get 3 days and 3 nights starting from Thursday evening when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane when they came to arrest him. That is when the Father's protection of Jesus Christ stopped. The Father's protection of Jesus Christ stopped, and he allowed men to do what they wanted to do with Jesus Christ, starting the Thursday night and ending in the resurrection of Jesus Christ the Sunday morning. And you can get from that 3 days and 3 nights.
Okay, sir. This is the scriptures according to Gregory?
Hello?
Is this the scripture according to Gregory?
No. When you study what the Bible says, when you study what the Bible refers to, when you see in the Bible that the Bible does refer to Jerusalem in one context or the other as the heart or center of the earth.
Okay, sir.
You realize that Jesus Christ was referring to Jerusalem, and when you see before the Thursday evening, God always protected him, but the protection of God stopped.
Gregory, I've got another call on the line.
Yes.
Thank you for your contribution, though. We appreciate that. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
Caller, thanks for holding your 11 voices. Okay, we would have missed a caller, but that's interesting narrative. I would call that the scripture according to Gregory. No disrespect, Brent. I would love to hear from other callers. Sister Henry, what's your take on this? Mr. Matt Mahon, are you in the Bible also? Let me know what's going on. We'd love to hear your perspective, but they say, okay, let's take this call. Call 11 voices.
Yes, the King.
But you're live on Voices. Is this a journey?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Let's hear you.
Now, Gregory emphasized on Bible time. Bible time. I think he repeated it maybe 3 times or more. Bible time. Now, we are in Bible time. Well, let us go beyond Bible time, the King. Let us go to when it was written in stones. Because Bible time, according to Gregory, and to my understanding, is 2,000 years. Let us go beyond 2,000 years of all that Gregory has just explained in Bible time. Let us go to what was written
I don't
in
recall the
stone.
phrase Bible times. I don't recall, him saying Bible times. So I'm kind of confused.
Well, I'm sure he's referring to what is written in the book that we all read, as in Bible time. But I'm going beyond Bible time. I'm going to when it all began, when it was written in stone. I'm going to person, people, place, time, and and a linguistic, an order that was given by the Creator, the energies that perform life. I said earlier, the King, we were spiritual and we became flesh by the word of the great, the powerful, omnipotent.
Oh, that's what you meant. We were spiritual, then we became flesh. You were saying we were physical. That's why I challenge you. So it was spiritual before we became flesh.
And we became flesh in the manifestation of the word. We became flesh through the duality of male and female. And I may repeat, not in this fallacy that we have in Adam and Eve and the rib that performed Eve. That's a fallacy. This is them sidelining the woman. The King, I said to you that you and whether your wife, your girlfriend, or whatever, you and that female create life in your image. This is what I want. This thing about God is only 2,000 years old. Let us go before that, because in the narrative of the Jesus that they gave us, we are gods. But the word God was only 2,000 years old. Let us go to the creators, those who made us flesh by the word, the spirit, that intelligent energy and powerful energy that perform by just saying, let us make man in their image, have created you, me, and we are continuing that creation. It's a duality that comes between male and female. Throughout this fallacy, that, and for those who are saying that I am blaspheming, the word blasphemy came from them just to keep us from blaspheming. Well, I am going beyond blaspheme, because the Creator that created me in the flesh, that life continues, the Creator of life. I stated, the King, as life was made manifest in the flesh, so too has death. You do your own research, the King. Look at those who, wherever they go, they create death and destruction. So yes, death have a form, because life have a form. There's a duality. Good and bad, right and wrong, black and white. The seed that was sown in the woman, the enemy that sowed that seed, that's the enemy that represents death. Now, who are killing? Who are killing, the King? Let us look beyond 2,000 years. And for those who are going to say Africans are killing Africans, generation upon generation, the King, before 2000, was not killing. Not even the word rape was a part of African spirituality, the King. So again, to Gregory about the word and Bible time, let us go to when it was written in stone, because when they gave us that Moses went up into the mountain and came down with the tablets, who witnessed that? Who witnessed that? And all that we have in the book, the King, is that, and God said this, and God said that. Who witnessed God said that? Have God ever told you anything, the King?
We've had some one-on-one.
Sorry?
We've had some one-on-ones.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
You asked if God ever told me anything. I say, he and I have had some one-on-ones.
Well, you see, that's the thing. There's a spiritual and individual connectivity that you would have as an individual. But what we have in the book is that, and God said this. The King, we have a book that even tells us that God take life. God slew Aaron's 2 sons. He also slew the brother who went and spilled, who was to raise up seed for his brother who had passed. And then at times, many times, that God told King Saul to go and kill a people and take their spoil. This
so are you discounting that?
Life.
Are you discounting that?
Intelligent being that created life does not say go and kill a people. Mothers, children, suckling and all. This is not our God, the King. What they give us in these narratives is them telling us what they have done to our ancestors. My God, how could we not see this? Gregory, the God you're referring to, you're pontificating a God that was colonized to you by those who have oppressed us. Get out of it, Gregory. Know your story and embrace it, and you would see the God that creates you. And stop following the God that man has made, the God that man has given us. Thank you for hearing me, the King.
Thank you for your contribution. On that note, we pause once again for a word from our sponsors.
Bust a move. Door busting savings happening now. Horsford's Automotive is busting loose. Huge door busting discount on all 2020 Nissan Urban 16-seater buses. Bust loose with as much as $25,000 off on all 2020 Nissan Urban 16-seaters. Yes, up to $25,000 off on all 2020 Nissan Urban 16-seater buses. But that's not all. Down payment busted. Absolutely no down payment. Payment on bill of sale. Busted. No payment on bill of sale. Payment on servicing for 12 months. Busted. Free servicing for 1 year. Buy groceries on gas for up to 3 months. Your choice. Busted. Your choice of absolutely free groceries or gas for 3 months. Payment on registration and licensing, tinting and accessories. All busted. That means they're totally free. Horsford Automotive is busting loose with its Bus a Move sales event on all 2020 Nissan Urban 16-seater buses. Bus a Move and get your new 2020 Nissan Urban 16-seater today for as much as $25,000 off. Bus a Move now at Horsford Automotive. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
At 6 minutes to the hour, you're listening to Voices on Win FM 98.9 on your FM dial. My name is Socrates, host of today's program, and we go straight to the phone lines. Caller, you live on Voices.
Socrates?
Good afternoon, sir.
It's me again. I just want to say something. I keep telling Journey, who is a heretic and an apostate, and he's misled, by Satan, in spilling the deception of Satan as a heretic and apostate. An apostate that he is. I keep on telling him, okay, that he's always speak about they gave us the Bible, they gave us. Well, who is the they? Now, I'm suspecting that he means the white man, the Europeans. I'm suspecting that is what he means. But I keep on telling him he's speaking about things that he do not know of, because we have evidence of the Bible that is over 2,000 years ago. We have translations of the Bible, and we have the Bible, copies of the Bible in the original language over 2,000 years ago. And we have translations. We have translations of it in Ethiopia. We have translations of it in Egypt. We have translations of it in Asia, and we have translations of it in Europe that are almost and over 2,000 years. You have things like the Dead Sea Scrolls and that sort of stuff that were done by Jews that are over 2,000 years now. Codex Venaticus and so on. They're almost 2,000 years. So if Johnny is trying to say that it is the white man who gave us the Bible, then how does he explain these things? Did the white man who gave us the Dead Sea Scrolls? Did the white man give us Codex Sinaiticus, Venaticus, and so on? Because these are original copies of the Bible, and some of them are translations. The Samaritans had the pistachio translation of the language. All of them basically saying the same thing to what you're reading in English translations today. So on what basis is Johnny trying to say that the white man gave us, when we have people over 2,000 years and just a little under 2,000 years who had the same Bible in their languages all over the known world at that time? So how does Johnny explain that? Because he wants to explain it in terms of slavery, but the Bible precedes slavery by almost 2,000 years. So Johnny needs to explain all of that, which he have never done. And also Johnny speak about God being jealous, and that jealousy is not a part of love. Like you tell Johnny, context is what you have to go on. For example, there is a right form of jealousy and there is a wrong form of jealousy. The right form of jealousy is when you're jealous over your own thing. For example, a spouse have the right to be jealous over the person who they are married to. if they're not behaving properly. That is a right form of jealousy, and that is a product of love. A wrong form of jealousy is when you're jealous for people, for their things that you have no right to.
Covetous.
And when it's referred to God as jealousy, God is jealous for what is his own. And nothing is wrong with it. That is love. That is showing us love. Like I tell Johnny, it goes on context. And there are many other things that he's speaking about that he do not know of. He talk about heaven and hell. Okay, something is not true. Something is not true because it is written in stone. Something is not true because it is very old. What makes things true is whether it comes from God, yes or not. If something comes from God, whether it is new or old, it is true. And if something goes against the Bible, whether it is old or new, it is not true. So it all depends on what comes from God and not how old something is or what material it is written on. And so therefore the Bible is the standard of truth because that is the word of God, and only the Bible today is the word of God. I keep on telling Johnny these things, but he doesn't understand.
I must admire you for being steadfast.
Hello? Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. I must admire you, and I've done so over the many years, for being steadfast in your faith and in your pronouncements. I mean, we know that Greg will tell you can only, think because there's one God, there's one truth, there's one, and that's it. So, whereas Johnny wanted to entertain a different narrative, you guys are going to butt head forever. That's okay. It's called Voices, where various opinions are entertained, as long as we keep it respectful. And let's take this caller. Caller 11 Voices.
Hi, the King.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. How are you?
I was weighing on something that was said when I tuned back in.
Okay. What might that be?
Pertaining to where would have been the center of the earth at a dispensation of time, in a chronology of time.
Mm-hmm.
One would conclude that Greenwich, in somewhere in England, Greenwich mean time.
I know.
We grew up with the BBC and you hear beep, 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 beep. This is Greenwich mean time. And it concentrates on where the prime meridian might have been, or what country, what land space the prime meridian would have been. But that is all wrapped up in the culture, the civilization, the empire. Every empire would have wanted to entrust their culture, their civilization, their languages, their philosophy, their theology, you name it, on the masses. Okay? So when, for instance, when Constantine came, he wanted to unify the empire. So thus came about what we call the councils of Nicaea and the 7 ecumenical councils of the church. I'm going to get back. At a certain point, remember, it's David who took Yabu Selam, not with a J. It was never a J because the J was just 15 something. The J was invented. So you got to go beyond when the letter J came into the English language. Yebu Zelam. You could go to Nigeria and ask who the Yebu people is today. They are the ones who occupy that space. And because of, conquest, they ended up in Nigeria. Long story short.
Okay.
But the center was the umbella. There are didactic points of the earth. The earth have energy. The earth is an energy grid, the King. Follow me.
I'm
the earth
following
have energy grids. And they were considered to be the ampulla, the navel, the umbilical cord of the earth. But there was more than one umbilical cord. And there was all over, including not Jerusalem, but in Palestine. It was further south. Because Jerusalem was replaced by an older city. And when David came, remember, there were others before David occupied their space. And if we know the story about, if you call that area Canaan, there were people living there before the quote-unquote first people was told that this would be a promised land. So these umbella, They were all over. Rome had one. Greece had one. All those ancient cities had a recognized navel of the earth, an energy grid that the people established. Our women established them. Mecca had one, where the Kaaba is. Okay? And other places. Today, Ghana have one in the Volta area. Powerful, powerful. It is considered to be one of the most energy center of the world today. Ghana. Egypt had one. Gabon have one. Different parts of the continent, different parts of the Americas had. Okay? So it's not at no given time that one place was considered to be the center of the earth. Today with the British Empire, Greenwich have one, which they recognize. St. Kitts is one, because St. Kitts in the Caribbean, in the archipelago, are at the middle point between the north, like the Greater Antilles and the Lesser Antilles. St. Kitts. No, nobody knows that. But it's not being emphasized. So, Greg, I can take your point, but just don't place the emphasis on Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. And the tree
in the
king,
center.
when God said he created the earth, everything in 6 days, and he rested the seventh day. Where are the missing 3 days?
In the center
Because
of the Garden
we have
of
from
Eden,
0,
where would
1,
that
2,
have
3,
been?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to make the completion. So 3 days becomes Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, for instance. The triangular, the triune, stone, red, white, and blue in the colors, which was ours. And in trees hold a significant number because 3 is where the mysteries lie. Out of the 6 days plus the 7, there are 3 other days. Don't tell me 10, the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That makes a combination of all things mathematical. Came after. It was there before. And 7 was set aside for, the creation. But the 3 held the mystery because the 0 would have comprised of time and space, and where all the energies lie that created everything on the first day and the second day. It's combination of water, earth, fire, and ether and air.
Not to throw you off your thought
life
process.
forms, trees, animals, human beings, everything life, water, sea, earth, fire, everything that is life, which is sacred and ought to be revered. So this is where we are searching for the mysteries of life. And as we search and these things come to light, we embrace them and impart them onto our sisters and brothers who, like myself, came up in the Christian circle. That's why I use the Bible, because the book is ours. But we need to shed some light on it. So these were the Umpular stones.
Okay.
That was established in Dodona.
So.
In Greece and all of those areas there.
So, are you saying that you don't buy what Gregory said about the 3 days and 3 nights that Christ would have been in the center of the earth?
No, I'm not saying I don't buy it, but it goes deeper than that. It entails other things. And they're saying that Jerusalem was the center. It was not Jerusalem, but it was in Palestine, but it wasn't the city of Jerusalem because Jerusalem was new.
Because what we're debating,
a little after David.
What we're debating is the 3 days.
And established that there as the capital for the new people, right? But there were other spaces in the Palestine area where there was one Umpular stone established there as a holy site, like Mecca and Dodona and other places in Greece and Rome. Rome is Vatican. You know what Vatican means? Revere the snake, the serpent.
Okay.
Yeah. In the Kikongo language. So all of these sites, and in the Americas, and also in where sunken continents are, like Mu, where they call Lemuria, or Atlantis.
And they'll call
from the antediluvian times. We are old people, the kings, keep coming back because we are immortals. We are very old people. This earth is old, so we need not to fight and fuss over little mundane things which we have our people to save. This is my mission.
Okay.
Because I want to walk my people out of the Bible, which was given, redacted and given to us, but we know it because it is in all of us.
Okay, sir.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for your contribution. What we were debating, Gregory and I, because as he mentioned, I raised a question, or posed a question to him some time ago, about how is it that Jesus Christ was crucified on Friday, rose from the grave on Sunday, but it's written that he spent 3 days and 3 nights in the grave. So this is what Greg was saying, that the reference to the center, he was in the center of the earth. It wasn't physically in the grave, but Jerusalem at the time was the center of the earth. So that's the explanation that he brought forward. So that's what we're debating. So I was hoping that you're going to tell me, Africa, but I couldn't get across. I couldn't get my word in sideways. The Bible concept, no. Was Jesus crucified on Friday and buried and spent 3 nights in the grave, 3 days, 3 nights, as is written, and rise on Sunday? We know the math don't add up, because from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're looking at 2 days. That doesn't that it can't represent 3 days, 3 nights in the grave. So that's the issue, and that is what Gregory sought to, to explain by saying, literally, it meant he was in the center of the earth because Jerusalem at the time was considered to be the center of the earth. So that was the issue. If anybody can shed another point of view on that, the phones are open and we have a call on the line to speak. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Good morning, Socrates. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm okay.
Good afternoon.
I don't know which time zone you're in, but it's afternoon, but it's good.
Yeah. The 3 days, 3 nights, very simple. 3 days, 3 nights is 3 days, 3 nights, or 3 days, 3 nights. In Matthew 12:40, it says, Jesus himself said, "For just as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the sea monster, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights." What Passover and Easter fall around the same time. Passover is a Jewish tradition celebrating when God protected them from the blood blood that was on the doorpost, right? That's what they celebrated. And the angels passed over their whatever house had the blood on the doorpost.
The lintel, yes.
So that's what they celebrated. Easter is the celebration of Jesus' death by the Roman pagans, right? 3 days and 3 nights. And we have to understand, we have to put things in context. Passover, in the Jewish tradition, the first day in Passover is the Sabbath. And the first day of Passover can fall on any day in the Jewish calendar, right? It's just a matter of, it's just a matter of
the date,
their monthly and their lunar calendar, right? So it can fall on any day. And then you have what you call the weekly Sabbath, which is, again, if you go back to Israel or the Jews, they celebrate it from sundown Friday, our day today, to sundown Saturday. So that's the weekly Sabbath. But there were 7 other Sabbaths. You had all the feasts had a Sabbath. The very first day of the feast was considered a Sabbath. If you go to New York, when you talk about Yom Kippur, the Jews don't go to work that day. Be it on a Monday, be it on a Tuesday, fall. The first day is a Sabbath. So when Jesus died, Jesus actually spent 3 days and 3 nights in the tomb, period.
A physical
the question
tomb.
Is, in the physical tomb in the earth. The question is, Socrates, when did he get into that tomb? And that's where the confusion comes. And it is confused by the Sabbath and what you call a high Sabbath, the first day of Passover.
So you're saying that he may not have been crucified and buried on the Friday. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what the word is saying. And if you have to go back in history, it's a science, It's a science. If you have to go back in history, you'll fall on that day and see it. It's not something that happened magically, Socrates, when you were born in the hospital, you were born. So if you have to go back They can tell you the exact time you were born and which hospital or wherever you were born. There's no kind of myth about it. This period in the Bible is too crucial for us to be confused
You
about
are
it.
now saying, sir, that Christ was crucified on a Thursday.
Let me give you the timeline. Tuesday night, remember Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray?
I know. I don't
Okay,
know.
when he went to when he went to the Garden of Gethsemane, it was a Tuesday night. He was arrested, and then Wednesday morning, brought before Pilate brought before Pilate. And if you read in Leviticus and in the Bible, it's there. And he was on the cross the third hour. That was by 9 a.m.
On the Wednesday?
Yes.
Have you gone to Pilate on the Wednesday morning?
Wait. And he was dead by 3 p.m. on the Wednesday. Because why? The following day was the high Sabbath, the first day of Passover. So they had to, Jewish tradition, they couldn't do work on the Sabbath, and that was considered work. So they had to bury Jesus before the first day of the high Sabbath, not the weekly Sabbath. You can do your research. It's there. But we grew up in church, and people tell us things. Oh, the Sabbath. But was there more than one Sabbath? Was there a different Sabbath? We don't do the research. We don't analyze. We don't dig deeper, and we're trying to get all kind of excuses and explanation about the center of the earth and center of Jerusalem.
But we're hearing, remember the Sabbath day, not days.
Which is the weekly Sabbath.
Sabbath
But
day,
remember,
not days. The Sabbath day, not Sabbath days.
Yes, the weekly Sabbath on Saturday, that is fixed. But then you have other Sabbaths. If you go through the Jewish calendar, there's other Sabbaths. The first day of Passover is considered a Sabbath.
So what do we do with 6 days child of labor and remember the Sabbath, the seventh day?
Well, that is the weekly Sabbath, Socrates. That's the weekly Sabbath. But then there was other special Sabbath, what they call the high Sabbath, the first day of Passover. Even today, you go to the what they call the Orthodox Jews. You go to New York, you will experience it. That
I'm liking this interpretation. I don't know if I can call it that because you say it's not interpretation, it's a fact. Jesus went to the garden on the Tuesday. By Wednesday morning, he went to Pontius Pilate. Within the third hour,
he went before Pilate
on a Wednesday
morning.
Within the third hour, he was on the cross.
And the scripture said that in the third hour on the cross, which is about 9 a.m. Right, dead by 3 p.m. that Wednesday afternoon. Right, because remember the following day, which is called the Thursday, is the high Sabbath. So the Jews had to do everything before the Sabbath starts. That's why by 3 p.m. he was dead. Sun probably was setting at that time between about 6 o'clock. So they had to put him in the tomb by Wednesday night. Before the high Sabbath. Yes, before the Sabbath starts.
And for all the many years and all the other church, we've never heard this.
Socrates, the information is a lot of things we never heard, you know, with our own history and with the Bible. The Bible is not just a book on and off itself. You have to put it in. You have to do some other research.
Okay.
Right. So Wednesday night, he was in the tomb, which is the first night, and the high Sabbath began, you know, at sunset that Wednesday.
So Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Thursday, he was in the tomb.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Thursday night, he was in the tomb. Friday, which is the second day, Friday night, the third night, he was in the tomb.
Yeah, 24 hours, yeah.
Saturday, during the day, the third day, the weekly Sabbath, Saturday night, Jesus not in the tomb. End of the weekly Sabbath.
And then Sunday?
No, wait. What did the Bible says? He says
up
that
from the graves he rose on the third day. So the third day, if you go back to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Wednesday to Thursday, that's a full day. Right? Thursday to Friday is the next day. And then Friday to Saturday. So it was on Saturday.
But remember, the day ends on the Jewish calendar on sunset the following day. Okay. So Saturday started Friday night and ended sunset Saturday. Right? It says that the women go before dawn on Sunday and early Sunday morning, and he was not there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You understand, Socrates?
Mm-hmm. I'm following you.
Does that mean that he rose 4 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, or could it be midnight? Could it be just after sunset? We don't know. But the fact is, he was not in the tomb when they went there. So Jesus was buried in our time, in terms of our local calendar, on Wednesday night, because Thursday was a high Sabbath. So I think the confusion is the Sabbath, and people relate it to the weekly Saturday Sabbath.
It's interesting.
But all the festivities had the first day of Passover was a Sabbath. You got a high Sabbath. And Passover doesn't have a fixed day. You know, if you go back in last year, the first day of Passover was different than this year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Easter come a different time
Right?
every year.
And the first month of the Jewish calendar is called Nisan. Right? And Nisan is it starts between March and April. March and April. And if you go back to Leviticus 23:5, you have to put that stuff in context, the old and the new. Leviticus 23:5 says, in the first month, on the 14th day of the month at twilight, that's when a new day starts at sunset, is Yahweh's Passover. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at twilight, is Yahweh's Passover.
So
and the first day of Passover is a high Sabbath.
Where does Palm Sunday fit into all this, chronologically?
Bro, Socrates, again, you have to go back in history, you know, where that Palm Sunday comes from. That's pagan, that people put their own different twist to that stuff. Let's go back to the original. Mm-hmm. Palm Sunday, that's just celebration, people doing their stuff. I'm not complaining. But if they want to change your name and celebrate your name differently, okay, but the name that your mom gave you is your name. So you can ask me, well, why did they change my name? Okay, they want to. But the fact remains, that's not your name. So let us not, you know, so the fact is, Socrates, it's 3 days, 3 nights. And as you said, when you do the calculation backward, it has to take place. The third day ended on the Sabbath day. Let us say Saturday, sunset was the cutoff.
Tuesday?
Because Sunday starts from sunset Saturday night to sunset Sunday. That's when the day is, according to the Jewish calendar and the Bible. So Jesus celebrated Passover. He ate, and then he went to the Garden of Gethsemane and prayed. And they arrested him that night, 9 o'clock. He was before Pilate on Wednesday morning.
Okay, sir.
Dead by 3 p.m.
Okay.
Because the Thursday was the high Sabbath. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. But we have this call. We have to take that, and they have a special announcement to make. Is that caller still there? Okay. Caller, we apologize for that, but please call back if you can. I have an announcement to make. This will make Africa happy. Africa on Tuesday, from fall taxi drivers, there'll be one meeting, not the two. That was you alluded to earlier on. It'll be one meeting for everybody, both the approved and unapproved. So there'll be no concept of discrimination. All taxi drivers are invited to this meeting at the Marriott on Tuesday. Let me make sure I have this right. I was just called by the product development officer. She said she sent me a text, so I'll try to find that to be more accurate in terms of the information. I don't see this yet, but that's one meeting. It was two planned, one for the 12th and one for the 14th. Then now one meeting, and now we take a call. A caller, 11 voices. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, sir. You're live on voices.
You know, these 3 callers and the 4th one here. I am happy, the king, that when I listen to Pastor Connor and Pastor Hazel, they don't confuse me with all this history and Mecca and Becca and Harry and Tom and Dick.
Mecca and Becca.
Mecca and Becca and Harry and Tom and Dick. I like that when I sit down and listen to the Word of God.
Pastor Connor, you said?
And I read my Bible. Huh?
So Pastor Connor?
I'm talking to Pastor Connor, yeah. Pastor Connor, Pastor Hazel.
Okay.
They don't confuse me with all this thing about
Mecca and Becca.
Mecca and Decca and Harry and Tom and Dick. You know, and who wrong from who right. Because I listen to all three of them. And all four of them. And I don't think I could sit down in my room a Sunday morning and listen to that. Honest to God. Everybody got their own way of explaining the whole situation. Especially the one Africa, the other one Johnny, and then the one before.
Let's get your explanation. The 3 days in 3 nights in the tomb, and where's it on Sunday? Let's hear you.
What's that?
The question is, if Jesus Christ was crucified on Friday and buried on Friday and spent 3 days, 3 nights in the tomb, how could he be raised? How could he rise on Sunday? That's the whole issue.
Well,
but the gentleman said it was on the Wednesday before, not the Friday.
You see, like I tell you earlier, I am not one of those Bible pundits. I can't tell you.
They can't tell you.
I believe the Bible. Period. I believe that there's a God. That if you die, there's a hell and a heaven. I don't care what this Johnny or John say. I believe that. And the only way we are going to find out is we have to die. You want to come with all the explanation to me.
Die for us.
The only way that you will find out, that I will find out whether it is a hell or a heaven, you have to die. That's the only way. The sad thing about it is that if you one of those people who want to give me all this thing about the Bible and who wrote the Bible and them kind of thing there.
Have they gonna come back?
Think about it. If I go heaven, you ain't gonna know. And if I go heaven, hell, you ain't gonna know.
It's a belief system.
Talk about, I'm gonna meet my mother in heaven. I don't see no part of the Bible tell me you're gonna meet nobody in the heaven.
Yeah,
because let me put it another way. If I'm here on this earth and I have two brothers, they die, and when I die and go to heaven, I don't see them. But then that's misery. I don't want to know why my brothers didn't make it.
You say you have to die and go and find it for yourself.
You have to die and go and find it for yourself.
I see. But
so all this thing about what they're talking all this and who write the Bible and how many Bible or how many books there is, that ain't important to me right now, you know. The important thing to me is that there is a hell and a heaven, and when I die, is that a heaven going? And I don't want to go hell.
And that's your story.
The Bible talk about hell. That's not a nice place to go.
So that's your story, and you're sticking to it. I said that's your story, and you're sticking to it, right?
I'm sticking to it. That's the way. That's what I believe in. And like I said, if Pastor Connor and Hazel used to preach at the Sunday time, I won't listen to them because I find that confusing. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you so very much for that. I love to hear more about Mecca and Becca. We have another call here? No? Okay. I was given some information by the product development officer in tourism who says that there will be one meeting next week, Tuesday, at the Marriott. And this is in answer to the question because there were actually two scheduled meetings, one for the 12th or for the, I would say, the COVID-approved taxi drivers. And the other would have been on the 14th for those who are deemed non-approved in terms of having your decal on the vehicle be able to work at Port Zante. So now there's one meeting, and that's to be held on next Tuesday. So one taxi driver, tell your next taxi driver. Africa, tell your friends. Now there'll be one meeting, no sense of being discriminated against. You'll be in one room, and all information will be disseminated. We'll share to that. We have about 26 minutes down after the 1 o'clock hour, coming down to the close play of voices. If we can take one or two calls before that, that'd be lovely. But I do appreciate the calls, the dedicated callers that we haven't heard from Sister Henry today. I was hoping to hear from Mr. McMahon because I do love the engagement that we share in on the political issues. Chris Collins is out there saying he liked the way Curtis and I, but I'm in this share. I'm not here with any bias. I listen. I try to stay away from certain issues because, but if you bring it up, I'll address it the best way I can. Okay? To all the folks who are the regular callers when I'm here, I appreciate it. I was told that time to let my style laid back and relax. I can't take on the blood pressure. I ain't taking on nobody's blood pressure. Politicians are there and they serve a specific purpose. There comes a times when you go to the polls and you exercise your franchise. There are times when you get caught up with the issues of the day. We're only human. But I am not going to be taking it personally and be up and down and making people enemy, this and that. If I engage in a conversation with you and I find you can't debate without getting personal and this and that, I gone. We have to be adult enough, politically mature to debate the issues in a sensible matter. Agree or not, disagree. But at the end of the day, you pass each other, good morning, good afternoon, because that's who we are. That's who we are. But that silly season that people talk about, electioneering and this and that. I was in a meeting, well, actually it wasn't a year. I was in Old Road some years ago. And there was a PAM meeting there. And there was supposed to be another meeting with the other party in Middle Island. They're traveling from Bastille down to Middle Island, and we're gathering Old Road. And they came in with an attitude and a rancor, and black pepper was thrown in people's face. Poor Jack Spencer, he can't see already. That Jack Mack, he can't see already. He got black pepper in his face. And I know the lady who did it. A mother of children, blah, blah, blah. But because she was caught up with that hatred for the other party, she threw black pepper in the man's eye. Fella can't see already. And these are the things I sit there and I just watch. Why? Why? You know, and so I try to stay away from that. I've been accused of, Socrates used to sing this, and now he's singing that, and this and that and that. No. I can't get up to the same thing every day. So if you feel you have a platform, you want to continue doing that, you're free to do so. We live in a democracy, and you're entitled to your own opinion, to express it any way you wish. I choose not to continue on that vein. I will still make my contribution, as I'm doing today on this program, Social Discourse. I want to thank Management of Voices for allowing me to come and sit and just have a little chit-chat with the public. I want to thank all the callers, the sponsors, those who made a contribution via text or by phone calls or whatever. Thank you for joining me today on Voices. This is not ambush marketing. Management, I'm inviting you to join me tomorrow night at the Truth Restaurant. There's a old school Calypso show. It's free to the public. Bring a friend. Come and enjoy some Calypso, political or not. Enjoy yourself and, you know what I mean? We're one people, petitions, divisions, and friends of the Federation. I wish you all peace, love, and a much brighter tomorrow. Thank you very much.